focus today on extended care. To me, this is the biggest opportunity in the senior market. A couple of reasons why. First of all, monstrous senior market, but also monstrous competition. There is a huge need for people that didn't buy long-term care insurance when they were younger and could afford it, and now are 65 or older and are exposed to the most catastrophic potential risk to their finances. So we're going to spend some time talking about that huge opportunity. Thanks, Scott. So a little bit of an overview of our 65 plus product portfolio. Of course, we have our Medicare portfolio with Medicare Advantage and prescription drugs, Medicare Supplement, ancillary and supplemental, and then of course final expense annuities and extended care fits into that senior bucket. Keep in mind we are independent from insurance companies, so we got them all, but we really like this new OmniFlex product that launched late last year. The reason this is so important is that agents have an opportunity to stack extended care products like OmniFlex onto their Medicare plan sales. And I don't just mean MedSup, MedAdvantage too. Don't assume that your customer doesn't care about long-term care just because they're buying a zero premium plan. You've got to remember to stack every single time. Our portfolio of senior products, these are our four go-to. If you don't have these four carriers in your bag, you really need them. Now, why are there some other carriers not listed on here? Well, the key to our approach is stacking. And these MedSup carriers all give you the ability to stack supplemental health, extended care products, and final expense onto a Medicare sale, and the Medicare too. But let's dive in a little bit with OmniFlex. Let's see if this pulls up. There we go. See if you guys can see that. Yep. So the OmniFlex product from Manhattan is our lead extended care product. It's the newest one in the market. There are more coming out, but this is the hottest one, and our sales are going like crazy with this product. Let's go into a little bit about why this is sold so well. Hopefully you guys can see this. So if you're not familiar with long-term care and why this is such an important matter to bring up to your customers, it's because the costs of long-term care have skyrocketed and will only get more as seniors continue to get older. The boomer generation is going to get older and in need of care, and yet the providers have not grown at nearly the same rate. So the costs have spiked, and the cost of quality care has gone through the roof. It is not uncommon that you could spend $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 a year for the cost of nursing home, assisted living, other types of facilities, or even home care. And of course, OmniFlex covers them all. The unfortunate thing about this for consumers is that in the current environment, the most likely scenario is that your customers are going to die broke. And if you look at the data, it absolutely proves itself out. So you work your whole life, you get into retirement, and you're good. You got your Medicare plan, you feel like, whew, I'm all set. Guess what? It's not true. Seniors are going bankrupt at record numbers, even with Medicare. And the most likely and common scenario as to how they're going broke is the catastrophic costs of long-term care, which are not covered by Medicare and never have been. They're not covered by Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplement plans. Long-term care is outside of that, and that's what happens. You work, you get born, you work, you retire, and you spend down everything until you get to long-term care, and then you get wiped out. So we can help avoid that with a simple tool that is way, way more economical and easy to get than going broke. Why would you want that for your customer? So the OmniFlex product covers people in nursing homes, assisted living, covers hospice, bed reservation, and prescription drugs. And then it also can include home health care, which I include every time, by the way, a hospital indemnity, and unlike so many of those products out there, also has inflation protection, which is so crucial because the costs keep going up. Daily benefits range from $50 up all the way up to $400 in $10 increments. You could do elimination periods all the way down to 0 or up to 90 days if you're trying to save some money. And benefit periods go from 90 days all the way to 360, although if you notice in that little asterisk that your lifetime benefit is actually 2 times that benefit period. So technically, if you do this right, you can sell a 1-year facility that gives you 2 years of benefit. You could sell a 1 year of home care, which gives you 2 years of benefit. And you're really providing people with 4 years worth of long-term care. And statistically, people don't live longer than that. In addition, unlike other products out there, this uses a pool of money approach. So you're going to have that pool of money. Let's say it's $100,000, but the care you're receiving only costs $50,000. That just means it's going to last that much longer. That's the beauty of the pool of money. There's some other great features included in the OmniFlex product from Manhattan. First is that always favorite prescription drug benefit. It's a way to get a good chunk of your premiums back is just by sending in your receipts for prescriptions that you're already taking. If you're taking a brand name drug, you're going to get $25 per drug. So if you're paying $100 a month for this, and you're taking 4 prescriptions, you just broke even on the premium. It also includes this really cool Fast 50 benefit that waives the elimination and pays first dollar benefits up to 50% right away. So that way you have access to benefits immediately. There's also a bed reservation benefit. So what that means is, say you're in a facility, but you want to go out of that facility for some period of time. Well, trying to get into a good one's hard. If you leave, it makes it even harder. So they'll actually pay while you've gone back home for a little while or visiting with family and friends. They'll reserve your bed and still pay for like you're sitting there. And there's also a restoration of benefits, which will restore benefits after a period of time until you've reached your lifetime max. The other nice thing about this product is the benefits go up every year with a 5% simple inflation protection. Unlike almost any other kind of product you can think of, you buy the benefits and then a few years from now you're like, this is not enough. With this plan, the benefits go up every year because the costs keep going up. And you don't know when you're going to need care. It might be 10 years from now. It might be 20 years from now. You don't know what the costs are going to be like. This thing continues to grow. I talked about the riders. Okay, we're not going to go through all of this again, but I did want to go through a scenario, and then I'm going to show you a scenario of my client, Jim. So here's an example of a claim. So Anthony, he was married for 40 years. He bought an OmniFlex short-term care. He had it 10 years before he needed help with his activities of daily living. And by the way, it uses the same activities of daily living trigger that long-term care policies do. So he's got a certain amount of benefit. Despite his challenges, he was able to get $175 a day from the Fast 50 home care benefits, which he immediately began to use in any way the family needed. After 6 months, he regained his independence. The policy had paid out $31,000 in home care benefits. So think about that for a minute. Think about the difference it makes that you needed care and this thing stepped in and provided you $30,000 in such a short period of time, 6 months. But it's expensive, and that's how people get wiped out. Go back to Okay, let's get back to my screen. I'm going to give you a case that I wrote a week and a half ago. 2 weeks ago, sorry. So here is the case that I personally wrote. Jim, one of my clients, I got Jim, so let me tell you how I got him. So I work with a lot of financial advisors and group agents, and Jim was retiring at age 65 from a company that sent him over to me to talk to about his Medicare plan. And so in looking at where he was, he's out in Arizona. Arizona. I was looking at his current health conditions, his prescription drugs, the doctor that he wanted to see, and he really liked the idea of a med sup. So when quoting, I found that the lowest cost med sup was United Healthcare in his area. So I quoted him a Plan G, and based upon his prescriptions, it says AAR, sorry, there's a typo there. I sold him a United Healthcare AARP RX Basic. So between those two, it was $49. But then I also showed him the Manhattan Extended Care at $124, the Manhattan Cancer, Heart Attack, and Stroke, $64, heavy on the cancer, and then dental, vision, and hearing for $54. And the total price was $391. And he didn't blink at $391. And the key, and where agents keep making mistakes, is they think that seniors just want the cheapest health plan possible. And agents couldn't be more wrong. Seniors want all the health care benefits that can fit into their budget. They want the max that they can afford. And in this case, Jim was spending $1,150 a month for his stacked group plan with all the different benefits that he had in his group plan, $1,150. And when I asked him what his budget was, he said, anything less than $1,150 is a win. I said, great. If you add your Part B premium to this, a couple $100 there, plus the $391, he's at $591 a month, totally in his budget. In fact, almost half of what he was paying on his group plan. So this is a really simple, easy stack that you should do every single time. Now, let me just tell you this. I have been putting these stacks together for a long time, and I want to let agents off the hook. Not every client is going to buy every single thing in this stack. I'm giving you the example of Jim because he bought them all, but not everybody does. And I don't want you feeling like, well, gosh, I must be doing this wrong because I offered all these products and they said, I don't want the cancer coverage, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. That's okay. The good news is you've done your job. You've explained to the client where the holes in Medicare are. You've explained to the client what you're going to do to try to plug those holes. But at the end of the day, they get to decide what they're going to do and how much they're going to spend. We get to sleep at night knowing we did the right thing. This is a really good stack you can duplicate over and over again. I wanted to remind everybody, and anybody, a lot of you have been with me for a long, long time. You know me, and I will say this to you over and over again. But the key to stacking these plans together is not about the products. It's about your mindset. And what I mean by that is if you just looked at what I did for the client and you said, well, let me try it one time and see if it works, you will not succeed in this model. It won't work. You have to make it your mindset that you are doing the right thing for your client and for your commission income, which I'll show you here in a second. You can't look at it like, let me try and see if it works. You have to be convinced that what you're doing is changing people's lives for the better. And if you have that mindset, you won't give up when it doesn't work the first time. The more you do it, the more you explain to people why you've put those different pieces together, why those things are important, you'll find they take more and more and more of it. And the persistency on these products is unbelievably great. you'll generate commission revenue renewals for years to come. It's your mindset. So what is the MedSup stack opportunity? Well, I will just tell you, based upon the case that I just wrote, here's what you can expect. You sell a typical stacked MedSup sale with an average of a 40% commission, you're going to make $1,800. Just doing one. Think about that for a minute. Just doing one. Your average agent out there is out there selling a MedSup, and they're making a few $100. You're making $1,800. If you do 10 of those, you're going to make $18,000. And if you do 100 of them, that's $180,000 a year, and that's not even including renewals. Is 100 a lot? It's 2 a week. Folks, it's a part-time job. 2 a week, year-round. You're making $180K plus renewal. And it sticks. What are you doing? Why are you shooting yourself in the foot? And maybe more importantly, maybe more important than this slide, more important than the income opportunity, is that we're taking care of our clients. We're changing their lives for the better. I would like to congratulate our top 20 Manhattan new producers. These are new people with us in the last, I think I ran it since the last agent conference, so last summer, up through last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. These are our top new producers. So congratulations to Tom, Lori, Alita, Mark, Philippe, Kristen, Amy, Ken, Monica, Ken, Doug, Bob, Don, Jim, Tom, Gerson, Terry, Errol, Dominic, and Albert. Congratulations to our top 20 new Manhattan producers. Now, I wanted to point out that there is a couple of things that are in common with top new producers, and that's OmniFlex. So if you're wondering what is driving our Manhattan sales, so much of it is coming from senior market products like OmniFlex. And the days of us being a under 65 Manhattan shop has changed in 2024. We went from being heavy, probably 80% under 65, 20% over 65. We're probably now the opposite, maybe not quite that much. It's probably 75-25 is senior market. And that has to do with great products and a great footprint. That Manhattan Lighthouse series has been the dominant part of our sales with Manhattan. So if you're not doing Manhattan in the senior market and you're still, looking at old products that we haven't hardly sold in a while, take a look at the Manhattan Lighthouse series. That's their senior market product series. And a very large percentage of the people on this top 20 list are doing it in the senior market with Manhattan. Not all, but a good chunk. Oops. Sorry. Skip the slide. What's wrong with my mouse? Let's try one more time. There we go. Okay. If you have not registered yet for our agent conference, please do so ASAP. If you want to learn about Manhattan and OmniFlex from agents that are actually selling it, you're going to want to be at our agent conference where you can learn and share best practices, collaborate, learn industry insights, interact with our key carrier partners, get presentations from top producers. Our award ceremony is always a favorite, and we're going to have a lot more awards, probably double the number of awards this year than we did last. Lots of great roundtable discussions and expert panels. We've got a great roster of insurance carrier partners that are going to be sponsors at our event, including Allstate, America's Choice, Back Nine, Blue Cross, Cigna, Enrollment First, Manhattan, Physicians Mutual, Pivot, USA Health Plans, and Wellaby. Pretty good chunk of the companies that we mentioned here today. Everything is included. By the way, we just got information from the Omni that the hotel was sold out. So I went out and bought 20 more rooms. So if you have not yet booked your room at the Omni at the discounted rate, if you go out there now, you can reserve the Omni Hotel for the 2 nights of the conference at the discounted rate. We had sold out. I didn't say anybody because I didn't want people thinking, oh my gosh, the hotel's already sold out. But we do now have discounted rooms again. What are your next steps here? Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is get contracted with Manhattan. The second thing is you're going to want to get trained. So if you look in the chat of this call, you're going to see a calendar link. Please click on it and schedule a day and time that's convenient for you for one-on-one training on the Manhattan OmniFlex product. Then, for the first 5 agents that sell their first OmniFlex, I'm going to be providing $250 in Medicare-free leads for their first OmniFlex sale. So in addition to the fact that you're going to make great money making an OmniFlex sale after we've trained you, you're also going to get $250 worth of free leads. And that'll help you get your next OmniFlex sale. Certainly you're going to want to attend this call each and every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central and learn and share best practices.